86% of the Japanese population is Shintoist, and 76% is Buddhist. They believe in an innumerable amount of gods.
It's not quite what it could have been.
Out of the 127 million people who live in Japan, only 0.2% of them are Bible-believing, church-attending Christians. The idea of one God is quite literally unheard of.
Some people look at Japan and think it's spiritually dead. Businessmen go to temples as a last resort for a failing project, but people rarely talk about religion day to day. Most people in Japan are simply not interested in spiritual matters, but this all the more speaks to the spiritual hold in Japan. Satan's playing card here is through pretending to not exist, working quietly and discouraging Christians mainly through silence and apathy. Sometimes we had only 1 or 2 students in an English class. Some parties had no people attend, while others had 30 to 40 attendees. This unpredictability can cause people to give up on Japan, but God is still working.
My experience in Japan has been very moving. By moving, I mean we were getting up and going from one place to the next. Universities, classes, churches, subway stations. This brought along some frustrations on the way. For me, I was a little worn out.
I never thought I would eat so many noodles. I missed air conditioning.
I never thought I would do something as girly as frikura.
And I had to pay for toilet paper.
However, all this activity gave us a chance to develop a variety of relationships, becoming friends with Christian and non-Christian college students. I'm surprised by how much a Japanese person will open up to you if you just approach them. In the case of my homestay family, they treated me like I was their child. Regardless of the language barrier, pursuing others with a loving heart and a soft smile goes far here in Japan, and is sometimes all that is needed to share God's love.
One of the ways we've been showing love to people is by getting to know students, by inviting them to events where we could have fun, play games, engaging them in English conversation. How we would do this was by going to local universities, by helping in English classes, handing out invitations to a Friday night event called Chat Room. Through the relationships we were able to build, our ultimate goal was to connect them with missionaries and local Japanese Christians. We were able to witness even our language teacher presenting a full gospel presentation to a group of students from a university called Seinan. It was amazing to me how many students came despite their busy schedule.
As we go back to our lives, we are praying that God will continue to teach us about His global plan, and that we will continue learning about the full scale of missions, since it is quite possible He will call some of us back to Japan one day. As we think about our part in God's plan, we must not forget that through the perseverance of the churches and missionaries that God is calling His people in Japan back to Him through growing relationships.
Yeah, I'm only up and up.